Let me ask you something. What if I told you that just 1 hour a day, 60 minutes, could completely change the direction of your life? Would you believe me? Most people won't. Why? Because they've been sold a lie. They think transformation needs a miracle. They think success demands 20-hour days, luck, or a silver spoon. But I'm here to tell you, it doesn't. It starts with 1 hour, just one. 1 hour of intention, 1 hour of discipline, 1 hour where you decide to work on you, instead of watching someone else live their life. See, most people are busy, but very few are growing. They scroll, they rush, they repeat, but they don't stop, and they don't think. And because they don't think, they don't change. But you, if you're still listening, you're different. You're searching, you're ready. And today we're going to talk about the hour that can reshape your habits, your income, your relationships, and yes, even your legacy. Because success is not an accident. It's a daily decision. And the best part, you don't need a new year. You don't need permission. And you don't need a big break. All you need is 1 hour a day. Let's begin. Take back the first hour. Let me tell you something powerful. How you start your day determines how you live your life. It's not just a routine, it's a ritual. And that first hour, that's your window, your launch pad, your foundation. Now most people, they give it away. They wake up and they reach for the phone. They check messages. They check the news. They check what everyone else is doing. But what they don't check is themselves. They don't ask, what do I want today? What do I need to become? What am I building? You see, if you don't program your mind in the first hour, the world will do it for you. And let me warn you, the world doesn't always have your best interests in mind. It'll feed you drama, distraction, noise, and before you know it, you're reacting to life instead of designing it. So here's the challenge. Take back that first hour. Make it yours. Before the emails, before the scrolling, before the chaos. Get up a little earlier, not because it's trendy, but because it's transformational. And use that hour to build you. Read 10 pages of a good book. Write down 3 things you're grateful for. Plan your day. Visualize your goals. Move your body. Drink water. Sit in silence. Do what the old you never made time for. Because here's the truth. My friend, if you can win the first hour, you can win the day. And if you win enough days, you win your life. Now I know what some people say, I'm not a morning person. But listen, success doesn't care. Discipline doesn't ask how you feel. You think the winners of this world leap out of bed with fireworks and fanfare. No, they decide. They train. They build the habit. And so can you. So starting tomorrow, make a new deal with yourself. Before you touch the world, touch your future. Use that first hour not to consume, but to create. Don't just wake up. Rise up, because your future isn't waiting at 11 a.m. It's waiting at 6. So take it back. Build it strong. And when the day begins, you'll already be ahead, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. You won't just be prepared, you'll be powerful. And that is how the transformation begins. Guard the hour like treasure. Now that you've taken back the first hour, the next step is to guard it like treasure. Because let me tell you, people will try to steal it. Not with a gun, but with a notification, a favor, a meaningless task. A little, hey, can I just, and suddenly, your hour's gone, vanished, given away to something that builds their life, not yours. You've got to understand, this hour is not free. It's not casual. It's not for leftovers. It is sacred. It is strategic. And if you don't protect it, no one else will. You see, time is like money, but even more dangerous to lose. You can always earn another dollar, but you'll never get back that hour. So what do? We put up a fence. We say, this is my hour. No calls, no emails, no scrolling, no distractions. Not because we're rude, but because we're serious. You've got to get serious about your hour. Like a builder is serious about his tools. Like a farmer is serious about his soil. Because this hour, if you use it right, will pay you back 100-fold. In clarity, in skill, in results, in income, in confidence. But only if you don't trade it for crumbs. Let me say that again. Don't trade gold for crumbs. That's what people do when they say, I'll just check this one thing. Let me reply real quick. This won't take long. And they end up spending their best hour reacting to the world, instead of rebuilding their world. So here's the habit. Every night, schedule your hour. Label it. Set it in stone. No flexibility. No negotiations. Tell your family, your friends, even yourself. This is your time to grow, to think, to create, to build. And if they don't respect it, teach them to. Not with anger, but with consistency. Because when you value your time, people begin to value you. So the rule is simple. If it doesn't grow you, it doesn't get your hour. Period. This isn't just about productivity. It's about priority. It's about saying my future matters enough to defend it. And that first hour, that's your front line. So guard it like it's rare, because it is. It's the hour that separates the average from the excellent, the wanderer from the leader, the talker from the doer. And if you guard it today, you'll celebrate it tomorrow. Direction before action. You know, it's not enough to take the hour, and it's not enough to guard it. You've got to know what to do with it. That's where most people go wrong. They're active, they're busy, they're doing things, lots of things. But the question is, are they doing the right things? Because here's the truth. Action without direction is a recipe for frustration. It's like being on a treadmill, sweating, grinding, running, but going nowhere. So before you jump into your hour, before you dive into books, before you start building, before you hit play on a video, ask yourself a very powerful question. Where am I going? That question unlocks everything. Because if you don't have direction, you won't have progress. You'll move, but you won't arrive. Direction is the compass. Action is the engine, and you need both. So let's get practical. At the start of your hour, take 3 minutes, just 3 to get clear. Ask yourself, what's my goal? What's the skill I'm building? What am I trying to improve today? And most important, why does it matter to me? Write it down. Don't keep it in your head. Get it on paper. Because clarity on paper becomes focus in action. Jim Rohn used to say, reasons come first. Answers come second. You've got to know your reason. Because when you do, the rest becomes obvious. Now let me give you a warning. If you skip this step, if you jump straight to action without intention, you'll waste the most precious resource you've got, your focus. And here's what's worse. You'll confuse movement with meaning. You'll feel productive, but you'll stay stuck. That's why direction matters more than speed. Because it doesn't matter how fast you're going if you're going the wrong way. So take the time to aim. Take the time to ask. Take the time to align your actions with your outcomes. Because a man with direction, he walks slower, but he gets further. So tomorrow morning when your hour begins, don't just start doing. Start deciding. Decide who you want to become. Decide what matters most. Decide what step brings you closer to the life you've been dreaming of. Because direction turns your hour into a mission. And when you live with mission, you start walking a whole new path. And that path, clear, focused, intentional, is the one that leads to change. Learn for an hour, grow for a lifetime. If there's one thing I've learned in life, it's this. Success doesn't just come from doing, it comes from learning what to do. And the moment you stop learning, you stop growing. Now here's the good news. Learning is simple. It's not about going back to school. It's not about expensive programs. It's about setting aside just one focused hour a day to feed your mind. That hour, that's your edge. That's your secret weapon. Because when most people are watching nonsense, you're watching growth. When they're drifting, you're developing. And over time, day by day, that learning starts to separate you from the crowd. Jim Rohn said it best. Formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. So what do you learn during that hour? You read books. You listen to mentors. You study success. You pick up biographies, personal development, communication, health, wealth, mindset, the stuff that moves the needle. Because the more you learn, the more you see. And the more you see, the better choices you make. Now let me be clear, this isn't passive. You're not just scrolling quotes and hoping something sticks. You're intentional. You pick up the book, the course, the notebook, on purpose. And you say, this is my growth hour. And let me tell you, an hour a day adds up. In 1 year, that's 365 hours. That's more than 9 full-time work weeks, invested in your own mind. You do that for a year, and you won't even recognize yourself. Your language improves. Your confidence rises. You speak with clarity. You think sharper. You solve problems that used to stop you cold. Why? Because you've been stacking wisdom, bit by bit, page by page, lesson by lesson. And the best part, nobody can take it away from you. Skills can be learned. Confidence can be built. Knowledge multiplies. And it all begins with that one quiet hour. So here's your next step. Pick your materials before your hour begins. Don't leave it to chance. Stack 3 books on your desk. Queue up the podcast. Open the course you've been putting off. And when that hour starts, go in deep. Because every time you open your mind, you expand your future. And the man or woman who learns daily, earns continually. So don't skip this. Don't rush this. Make learning a habit, and you'll make success a lifestyle. 1 hour of practice beats 10 hours of theory. Let's get something straight. Learning is powerful, but learning without doing is just entertainment. You can read every book, watch every video, listen to every podcast. But if you never apply what you've learned, you're not growing. You're just collecting. See, success doesn't come from what you know. It comes from what you practice. Let me repeat that. 1 hour of practice beats 10 hours of theory. Why? Because action is where skill is born. You don't become a speaker by reading about speaking. You don't become fit by studying exercise routines. You don't master anything by sitting on the sidelines. You've got to step into the arena. Now here's the mistake most people make. They wait until they feel ready. They wait until they're confident. They wait until it's perfect. But here's the truth. Confidence doesn't come before action. Confidence comes from action. Every time you practice, you get sharper. Every time you try, you get better. Every time you show up, you grow up. So what does this mean for your hour? It means that at least part of that hour should be hands-on. If you're learning to write, write something. If you're learning to speak, practice out loud. If you're learning business, build the plan, make the pitch, take the call. If you're learning design, open the software and create. No more waiting. No more prepping. Just doing. Because repetition is the mother of all skill. Not perfection. Repetition. You don't have to get it right the first time. You just have to get it going. And then you refine it, improve it, polish it. That's how professionals are made. And here's something else. When you practice daily, your progress becomes visible. You can feel it. You can measure it. You start to trust yourself. And that trust, that's the real win. Because a person who trusts their own effort becomes unstoppable. So here's the challenge. Take what you learned yesterday and apply it today. Even if it's messy, even if it's small, even if it's awkward, just start. Because doing turns knowledge into power. And 1 hour of bold, focused, imperfect action can do more for your life than a lifetime of thinking about it. Reflect, refine, repeat. You know, life doesn't improve just because you keep moving forward. It improves when you stop and look back with purpose. Too many people go from one day to the next, one task to the next, one goal to the next, without ever asking the most important question, how did I do today? That's where the growth lives. Not just in the doing, but in the reviewing. Jim Rohn used to say, a life worth living is a life worth recording. And I'll add this, a life worth recording is a life that keeps improving. Now let's break this down. At the end of your hour, not the beginning, not later, not tomorrow, but at the end of your hour, take 5 minutes to reflect. What did you learn? What did you accomplish? What did you struggle with? What will you do better tomorrow? It's not complicated. It's just honest. And most people won't do it. Why? Because it forces them to face their own patterns. It reveals whether they're moving forward or just spinning in place. But here's the power. Reflection creates clarity. Clarity creates improvement, and improvement creates results. Now, once you've reflected, don't stop there. Next step, refine. What can be tightened? What can be removed? What can be added, improved, upgraded, simplified? You don't need to overhaul your life every week. You just need to tweak the process, little by little, because excellence isn't a giant leap. It's a series of small, intelligent corrections over time. Think of it like this. Airplanes are off course 90% of the time, but they constantly adjust. And guess what? They still land exactly where they're supposed to. Why? Because they reflect, refine, and repeat. And that's your formula now. Every hour you invest in yourself, reflect on it, refine it, repeat it tomorrow. Just a little better. Do that for a week, you'll notice a shift. Do that for a month, people will notice. Do it for a year, your life will never be the same. Because those who learn from experience grow slow. But those who learn from evaluated experience, they grow fast, they grow strong, they grow wise. So don't just live your life. Examine it, shape it, elevate it, reflect, refine, repeat. That's how you go from ordinary to exceptional. 1 hour of health a day keeps the doctor away. Let me tell you something that most people forget. Your body is not just a vehicle. It's the engine of your life. And if the engine fails, it doesn't matter how big your dreams are. It doesn't matter how clear your goals are. It doesn't even matter how much money's in your account. Because when health breaks down, everything slows down. You see, the body and the mind are connected. You can't think straight when you're tired. You can't lead when you're weak. You can't build when you're burnt out. So what do? We invest 1 hour a day in the most important machine you'll ever own, your body. Now listen, I'm not saying you need to be a bodybuilder. I'm not saying you need to run marathons. But I am saying you need to move. You need to breathe. You need to stretch. You need to sweat. Because when you honor your health, you elevate your energy. And when your energy goes up, your results go up with it. Let me say that again. Energy is the fuel for achievement. Want more focus? Move. Want more drive? Sweat. Want more peace? Breathe deeply. And the best part, it doesn't take all day. 1 focused hour. That's it. Walk in the morning. Stretch your body. Do some yoga. Lift some weights. Or simply step outside and get the sun on your face and the air in your lungs. Because here's a Jim Rohn truth. Take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live. Now let me give you a warning. Neglect is quiet at first. A few skipped workouts. A few too many processed meals. A few extra hours sitting in that chair. And suddenly, the body starts breaking down. Not all at once, but slowly, silently, until one day the price shows up. In the doctor's bill. In the energy crash. In the missed opportunity you weren't strong enough to grab. Discipline weighs ounces. Regret weighs tons. So take the hour. Protect the hour. Use it to build your strength. Not just your skills. Because you can't give your best if you're running on empty. You can't lead others if you can't even lift yourself. And you can't live your purpose if you're constantly managing pain. So starting today, treat your health like your future depends on it. Because it does. 1 hour a day, to walk, to stretch, to fuel, to rest, to keep the doctor away, and success close by. Build a fortune in the quiet hour. Let me tell you something important. Profits are better than wages. Wages make you a living, but profits, they make you a fortune. And to build profits, you don't need 10 hours a day. You don't need a team. You don't even need permission. You need 1 hour, 1 quiet hour. Now most people get home from work and they shut down. They say, I've done enough. So they sit, scroll, watch, and wonder why nothing changes. But that quiet hour right before bed, right after dinner, that's your chance. It's your space to build something that's yours. Not for your boss, not for your paycheck, but for your future. In that hour, you can start your side business. You can learn a new skill. You can write. You can plan. You can sell. You can build. You don't need a fancy office. You don't need a perfect setup. You just need a little hunger and 1 hour that you don't give to the world. Now let me be honest. The results won't come in a day, but that's not the goal. The goal is momentum. 1 hour a day, 5 hours a week, 260 hours a year. That's not small. That's massive. That's a product launched. That's a brand started. That's a future created. But only if you treat the hour like treasure. Not as time to waste, but time to build. You don't build wealth with wishes. You build it with work. Quiet, focused, consistent work when no one's watching. And here's the best part. If you do that long enough, one day you'll look up and realize something. That little hour built your confidence, built your income, built your independence. And it started when you made one simple decision to stop wasting the quiet hour and start using it to build your fortune. Relationships built 1 hour at a time. Now let's talk about something most success books leave out. Relationships. Because what good is a fortune? What good is a strong body? A sharp mind? A big bank account? If you don't have people to share it with, success without connection is empty. You don't build a good life just by building businesses or habits. You build a good life by building people. And that takes time. That takes care. That takes presence. But here's the good news. Just like you grow wealth with 1 quiet hour, you grow relationships the same way. 1 hour at a time. 1 hour of real conversation. 1 hour of listening, not just hearing. 1 hour of putting the phone down and looking someone in the eyes. You see, people don't remember what you said. They remember how you made them feel. And they feel it when you give them time. Now, I'm not asking for 10 hours a week. I'm not asking you to become a therapist. All I'm saying is, give someone in your life your full attention for just 1 hour. Your spouse, your child, your parent, your mentor, your friend. And don't just sit in the same room. Be there. Ask questions. Share stories. Laugh a little. Or just sit together and be quiet. Because presence is powerful. Let me tell you what happens when you do this. Trust starts to grow. walls begin to fall, love multiplies, and connection deepens. It doesn't take a fancy dinner or a big trip. It takes 1 hour of your heart with no distractions. And I'll say this, the people who know how to build great relationships, they always win in the long run. Because in the storms of life, and they will come, money won't hold your hand, success won't hug you, but relationships will. So schedule that hour, make it intentional. Because if you don't invest in people, you'll wake up one day surrounded by things, but feeling completely alone. And here's the truth. A rich life is measured in memories, not just milestones. And memories are made in moments. Moments like this, moments that begin with just 1 hour. So the next time you think about success, remember this. Don't just build your future, build your people, and do it 1 hour at a time. Stack your hours, stack your future. You've heard it before, success is built one step at a time. Well, I'll say it a little differently. Success is built 1 hour at a time. 1 hour of discipline, 1 hour of learning, 1 hour of building, 1 hour of investing in your mind, your body, your future. Now, here's the problem. Most people underestimate what 1 hour a day can do. They say, it's just an hour. What difference does it make? Let me show you the math. 1 hour a day, that's 7 hours a week. That's over 300 hours a year. That's more than 7 full-time work weeks. Now ask yourself, what could you do with 7 full-time weeks, focused only on growth? You could write a book, learn a high-value skill, build a business, change your health, master your mindset, or even rebuild your life. But you don't do it in a rush. You do it by stacking the hours, one on top of another, each one building on the last, brick by brick, quiet, steady, strong. That's how a future is built. Not in a burst of energy, but in consistent effort. Now here's the secret. Small disciplines don't stay small. They expand. They multiply. They shape who you become. Every time you show up for that hour, you're casting a vote for your future. You're saying, I'm not wasting my life. I'm not waiting on luck. I'm building something that matters. And that decision made daily creates momentum. It creates confidence. It creates results. Because when you add up the hours, you add up the progress. And when you add up the progress, you start changing your identity. You go from someone who waits to someone who builds. Now listen, there will be days you miss it. That's okay. You're human. But don't let a missed hour turn into a missed week or a missed year. Always come back. Get back to stacking. Because time is passing either way. And one day, the question won't be, did you dream big? It'll be, did you use your hours wisely? So stack them, protect them. And one day, you'll look up and realize you didn't just change your habits. You changed your life. When 1 hour turns into a new you, you started with just 1 hour. 1 hour of learning, 1 hour of building, 1 hour of reflecting, 1 hour for your health, 1 hour for your future. At first it felt small, almost invisible, like nothing was happening. But day by day, hour by hour, something was happening. You were becoming someone new, not overnight, not by accident, but by decision. Because here's a truth you can count on. You don't change your life in one leap. You change your life one consistent hour at a time. The hour you showed up when it wasn't easy. The hour you chose growth over comfort. The hour you practiced instead of postponed. The hour you listened, loved, focused, created. And those hours, they did something powerful. They rewired your mind. They reshaped your habits. They rebuilt your confidence. 1 hour at a time, you started to believe in yourself again. You began to trust your word. You proved to yourself that discipline isn't just a word. It's a lifestyle. And the best part, you didn't need to change everything. You just needed to change one thing. How you use your time. That was the turning point. Because if you can control 1 hour, you can eventually control your day. And if you can control your day, you can shape your future. So here's what I want you to remember. Success is not luck. It's not mystery. It's not magic. It's discipline, applied daily. And that discipline, it doesn't take everything you've got. It just takes 1 hour, every day, without feel, without excuses. And one day you'll look in the mirror and realize you didn't just change your schedule. You changed your identity. You became the kind of person who shows up, who follows through, who lives intentionally, who walks in purpose, who builds with wisdom. And that is the new you, all from 1 hour. So keep it up, stay consistent, protect the hour, respect the process, because it's not just how you spend your time, it's how you shape your life. Start today, not tomorrow. Now you've heard it all. The habits, the hour, the truth. So what's next? I'll tell you, start today, not tomorrow. Because tomorrow is a promise. Today is a decision. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for the right mood. Don't wait for the new year or Monday or some perfect moment that never shows up. Just start. Pick 1 hour. Claim it. Schedule it. Protect it like your future depends on it. Because it does. You don't have to be great. You don't have to have all the answers. You just have to be willing. Willing to show up. Remember this, change doesn't happen when you know what to do. Change happens when you do what you know. You've got the map now. You've got the steps. You've got the power. So don't walk away from this video just feeling inspired. Walk away activated. Decide right now. Today, what hour will you take back? What will you build? Who will you become? Because if you give 1 hour a day to growth, to purpose, to vision, to health, to people, to your future, 1 year from now, you'll be living a life you once only imagined. So start today. Not because it's easy, but because it's worth it. 1 hour, one decision, one new you. Let that be your story.